Hello guys, welcome to our lesson number 19. In this tutorial we are going to learn the curves and levels, which is a very important thing or important tool which nowadays almost all the famous Instagram photographers or famous photographers are using this technique, because with the help of this you can just do any of the color grading, or you can just achieve any of the color if whatever you want with the help of this technique. If you learn this, I'm gonna definitely guarantee you that you will achieve a desired amount of color tone which you want to make. In Photoshop you can just copy that color tone with the help of this technique, and this is really a very important thing or important tool, and which will be mostly useful in your editing process. So you need to understand this tool and this technique, right? So I'll just show you how to do this process. Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson 19, in which we are going to learn how to master yourself and use the levels and curve technique in Photoshop. So let's get started. So guys, if you want to ask, so this is our photo, right, in which we are going to work on it, right? So first of all, let's see how this level actually works, right? So what you have, create an adjustment layer from here and select the levels from here. Let's start with the levels. So as you can see, if I am moving the slider from left to right, it creates a darkish effect to your photo. But here you can see the details of the photo are up to on this area, right? As you can see, the histogram shows up where are the details up to where you can just stretch the cursor from left to right? So up to here you can totally play with it without losing the details. But let's just zoom and see what if we just increase more. So as you can see, I'm increasing more and more. I'm losing the details from this whole trees and image, totally image. I'm just getting that losing the details and making your photo more blackish, which we actually don't want, right? So you have to understand that up to here only the details are working, and up to here you can just totally, it is fine to do it. If you create more, it will create more shadows to your photo, right? So this is the thing which you need to understand. And let's play with here. And here is also the next thing, that is our highlights, right? Here is the shadows and here is the highlights. So whatever you just increase up, just move the slider from right to left, you will see up to here it is fine. But whenever you are just moving more and more, it is just losing the details. As you can see, it is blowing up your highlights. You can just see the difference. If I create more and more, so you can see on the white area of this model, it is just losing the details of the white. So it is very important that if you want to create a highlights or increase the highlights in the photo, just move the slider only up to here where the data of this image are actually shown with this histogram, right? So as you can see, just a bit you can just do it, otherwise you will just lose the detail, right? As you can see, here is the before and here is after. A minor details or minor effect can be seen of increasing the highlights. Let's see, the next thing is, here is the midpoint, right? If you want to create, this is our midpoint or midtones. If you move the slider from here to around blackish, so it will just blow up the details and enhance the black and just make it more whitish. If you move it to right portion, it will just make more darker, right? And just create more darker and darker effect. So this is very much necessary. If you want a brighter image, you can just move the slider a little bit to around here, just to around 1.67. This is according or totally up to your image. So this will just enhance or bring back more details of this green tone. As you can see, this was the midpoint, and if I have increased those details, I have got that perfect brightening up of this green color. So we'll see the before and after. Here is the before and here is the after. As you can see here, the details of the hair was not seen in the photo. Here was the before, which I was losing the details, or I'm not getting the perfect hair detail. If I have done this process, I can get that perfect details over here. So this is how these levels actually works. Let's double click on it, and here is the kind of highlights and shadows. If you want to add the kind of exposure, this is one type of an exposure image. The lesser you make, your exposure of the image would be decreased, and here the image exposure would be increased. So from here you can just play with the exposure thing, right? Now let's see the red color. First of all, we'll see the same thing in the curve section also. So it will be more easier for you to understand and learn well, right? So let's select the curves, and from here we are going to do the same process. Here is the highlight, right? So when you will just decrease it, it will create the darkest effect, that is our shadows. So here are up to here the end. As you can see in the histogram, the details of this image are up to here, so you can totally decrease it only up to here. And here also same thing, you can just increase only up to here the highlights. Here is the highlight, and here are the shadows. The same thing which we have learned in the levels also applies on the same region, or the same thing on the curves. The difference is just it's shown in the levels and this is shown in the curve section. That's it, nothing else is much more different in this both. And here our midpoint is the middle thing, or what we say the midpoint, midtones, right? Suppose I just move it up to around here, I'll just get the whitish effect. If I move it on the downside, I will get that blackish effect. If I just move it on the down, I'll get the blackish effect. I'll just move it up in the upward, I will get if I want just bit of whitish effect, I'll just increase it a little bit. So this is the midpoint which you can play with. And the best part of this curve is you can make multiple points anywhere in the curve. Suppose if I say I just want to create one point over here, right? So I have made a one point over here, and if I create one more point, just click over here and I'll just decrease it from the top. So it will just reduce the effect, and as you can see it can ruin your photo also. But you have to be very careful by using these 3 or 4 curves in your photo. You can use it, but it is very much you need to learn and understand whole thing very deeply, and through practice you will understand this whole thing. So this is how you can just make a multiple curves and points on the photo, and with the help of that you can just do it whatever you want, just like this. As you can see, you can totally play with this curves and points in curves, but in levels you can't find this much of points. That is the benefit of the curves as compared to levels. Now here the next thing we are going to learn. Right, so these are the things which you need to understand and which we have learned. And here is the same thing, that is our creating a highlight. Suppose if you just move it and alright, so this is the thing of the levels and curves, right? Now we will understand the rest of the things, that is, suppose this is the levels, right? And if you double click on it, and we will see. So here is the RGB, whatever thing we have learned is that RGB. And here if you will go to the red color, you will find more effects. If you want to color grade the same way, you can totally do it. Suppose I just move it from left to right, what I'll get that the blue or greenish effect. As you can see, I can color grade the image also. If I just move it from right to left, I'll just getting the pinkish tone to the photo. And here is the midtone. If I want to get the pinkish kind of peachy tone, can just make, with the help of moving the midtones towards this the left side, and if I just make it to right side, I can just make a green tone. And also do this, you can just select the green color and also do the same process by making your photo or color grading it to a kind of creative level. This is also, guys, totally up to you, and you need to understand and just see the process. Or you can make your own color effect with the help of red, green and blue. right? These are the sliders which you can use in your editing game to kind of make an amazing color effect. So this is the levels, and this here is the curves, the same thing. Create a red tones. Let's create a kind of point over here, one point over here. Let's create, you can green tone, make a greenish. You can decrease the color, increase from here, make a blue color, increase the blue tone, or you can just make a slide over here and decrease it from here. So there are a lot of things you can just play with and make a different types of color effect with the help of these curves and levels. So I hope you all have understood this levels and curve technique to color grade your photos or adjust your exposure and highlights and midtones with the help of curves and levels. So guys, today that's it for today, and see you in the next chapter. Till then guys, be creative and be awesome. See you in the next video.